What's up, everybody? It's your boy Glenn. This is a version 2 of a potential Bears off-season mock season video, mock off-season video. In this version, we're going to stick with Justin Fields. He's been playing his ass off. He's proven to have the maturity that we need out of a franchise quarterback. The team seems to love him. Coaching staff seems to like him. Ryan Poles seems to like him. I think it's probably about 50-50 he's gone after this season, but in this mock off season, we're going to stick with him. So looking at this first, here's the players under contract for the 2024 season. If you watch version 1, a lot of this is going to be pretty similar. But I think these are three guys you look at potentially cutting in the off season just to free up a little more cap room based on their salaries and their production for this current team. But when you look at it a little further, if we look at cutting Eddie Jackson, Cody Whitehair, and Travis Homer, signing Scales and Lewis to 1 more year extensions, or 1 more year contracts, I should say, franchise tagging Jalen Johnson, a premier cornerback in this league, and maybe giving Tevin Jenkins a little bit of a contract extension. We do those things along with the players that are currently under contract. We're looking at 37 men on the roster. I would argue 37 guys that most likely make the roster next year. I could see a world where there's a shakeup in the wide receiver room. I could see Robinson and potentially even Bagent getting, demoted off the roster potentially. Maybe Quindell Johnson as well, but for the most part, I bet most of these guys, if not all of them, are going to be on that 53, 54-man roster next year. So here's an idea. If we're sticking with Justin Fields, here's an idea of a couple guys I might like the Bears to explore signing. We got Xavier McKinney, a safety off the Giants, who's really played at like a top 15, top 20 safety level this year. Really has come up big in this contract year. Drew Sample, I think he was in the last one as well. Just kind of a role player as some depth at tight end, maybe second, third string tight end. Andre James, he's proven to be a pretty solid center out in Vegas. I like the idea of signing him. He could be our starting center. I think that is a spot that the Bears maybe consider spending a little bit of money this offseason. Rookie centers tend to struggle for the most part. It's pretty rare that they just step in and play well. This team can compete now, and I think if they really want to shore up that offensive line, I think investing in a veteran center would be a good move. Clowney, I might have had on the last one as well. I like the idea of just having him on a 1-year deal. You'll have to pay Fields in a couple of years. Let's bring him in on $9 million for a year, $10 million for a year. Kind of like the Ngakoue contract. He's maybe a little bit more of a well-rounded defensive end, but I think he could still produce for us. And then just like a role player at wide receiver here, Brandon Powell of the Minnesota Vikings. Like what he's got. You add those 5 to the current 37 that we had before. We're at 42 guys going into the draft. And then with that being said, we're going to just kind of key up for a mock draft here. So offensively, we're looking for sure to address this wide receiver room. It's going to be questionable if we don't add some key pieces here in the draft. Some depth on the offensive line, quarterback, running back as well. Some defensive line depth, maybe add a linebacker late. And another slot corner would be a good idea as well. So if we do all those things, we're looking at a little under $30 million before the draft. After draft, salaries get paid, looking at like $16 million left over. Just very round, obtuse numbers there. But yeah, with that being said, come back for part 2. I think this defense looks really solid. Come back for part 2, and we'll do a little mock draft, see what you guys think. Like and subscribe. Thanks for the comments on the last video. It's fun when people get involved. Let's do a little mock draft here in part 2.